Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome back. Welcome to. How are you? How you doing? My name is Joe Josh. I go by iChart Daily. Today is Tuesday, June 11th, 2024, and we're back with another Bitcoin technical analysis video. Before I say anything, this is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. Actually, it's not for entertainment purposes only. It's really for educational purposes only. I've been doing technical analysis for 17 years now. I'm trying to teach you my thought process and how I'm able to say things 12 days ago, not mention not one news article, one CPI report, one Trump court case, or anything like that, and we're down a couple $1,000s, and the play is playing out because once again it's squiggly lines for the win, cuzzy. F the news, trust the charts. That's the slogan. So 12 days ago, watch this video. Appreciate the 37 likes and the 269 subscribers, the 191 views, the 15-20 comments. Shout out to you guys for helping me grow this channel. Always appreciate the support. So it's time for me to give back. When I look at a chart, the first thing I look at, let's delete everything, right? The first thing I look at is a long-term trend. I want to see where major support resistance levels are, what the indicators are telling me on the long-term trend to figure out what's happening on a shorter time frames. The actual word in the dictionary is called being pinned. What that means is if the longer time frames, meaning the weekly, 2-week, 3-week, and monthly, are telling you something is bearish, meaning MACD coming down, RSI being rejected by the 70 and coming down. The shorter time frames, your 7-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, if they look bullish, they're going to be fake outs and not breakouts. Same thing the opposite way. So on the monthly, the first thing that I'm noticing is this candle right here, and then the selling pressure the next 2 months thereafter. I don't like that. We don't buy into wicks. When you buy into wicks, you're buying into selling pressure, right? You want to buy into wicks on the way down, right? Support levels are not here. Not buying into the selling pressure, right? We buy at support so that we have the opportunity to take profit at resistance. Right now, Bitcoin went from 16,003 to 71.7, and we want to see if this is going to be a continuation to the upside, right? So that key level, that 60,009, is going to be a key level. You can see here is major support all the way back from March. We need to see if we're going to stay above that, and I'll break it down. That technically could be our neckline in our double top, right? So we're here, okay? Now we zoom in. Actually, I'm sorry, let me show you some indicators, okay? First thing I am noticing on the MACD, yes, we're still bullish. The shorter time moving average is still above the longer time moving average, but you can see volume is starting to come down, okay? Next thing that I was noticing is we made this low, we broke above the moving average, came down, made a higher low to this one here, came up again, made another higher low, made another higher low. We are making a lower high. We still are above the moving average, which still shows that we still have a little bit of hope that we are in a continuation pattern. Not necessarily. I do think we have plenty of room to bleed, but nothing happens until something happens. You can't say officially that we are in a bear market and not just a consolidation until you see what has happened in the past, right? Break of the moving average down. Break of the moving average down, break of the moving average down. It hasn't happened yet. Does it look bad? Pretty much so. Bad meaning we have a lot of blood on the table, and if some alts look bad versus Bitcoin, some of these alts can, I forgot what I was looking at before. I think it was ICP. ICP went up a couple 100%. And now it looks like it's forming a rounding top, and it could come down 90%. But as long as it still makes a higher low, it's still bullish, unfortunately, in a technical analysis world. So we're here. We're not looking great, especially that the RSI is the first mover, right? Meaning this won't death cross until the poo-poo hits the fan on the RSI. But you could see here we're making this lower high. Another thing is we are no longer in section A. Section A is above the 70, right? This is A plus, this is A, this is B plus or B, and this is just B minus, right? So as long as we stay in section A, this could be a continuation to the upside, but right now it shows me that we're making a higher high. Technical analysis 101, this low here of 66.03 potentially could be broken, has a high probability because this made a lower high. That's why you could see here I have an alert at the 66.03, because then your next line in the sand support is going to be the moving average and is going to be the 62.29 level right here. You could see it was major support and resistance in the past a couple times in Bitcoin's history. So we have room to bleed on the monthly. What does that mean, right? In order to have a red month, you need to have more red weeks, red week candles out of green to print a red candle. So what does that mean, right? Now we zoom in. Now we zoom in to the weekly, cuzzy. What do we see? First things first, trend lines go with trend indicator. You can't say that this is support because the trend indicator, which is your MACD, death crossed, right? Your trend started here. We officially golden crossed. We did not death cross. Boom, trend ended right here. So if trend indicator is going up, your trend lines go up. If trend indicator is forming a top, like it did here, right? And excuse me. Right? Forming a top, volumes coming down, we go from blue to red. Usually you form a top in the price action. What do I mean by that? This is going to be broken eventually. I have a 90% approval on that, right? The reason being is I just told you the monthly doesn't look good. We now look like we have officially double topped, formed the head and shoulders that I said 12 days ago. And I said this had a higher probability of not even coming close to this high or breaking this high or this high because of this line right here, right? Once again, technical analysis 101, higher, low, higher, low, higher, low. First time we made lower low. You understand? This low here was lower here, which showed me that this high here was going to be lower than these highs here, which showed me that this was going to be a head and shoulders, right? So if you have a negative bearish pattern on the weekly, that's also confluencing with the bearish pattern on the monthly, you should start thinking about shorts, not longs. Another thing, let's go back to the RSI. Most important thing, let's go here, is the 62.26 on the weekly. Why? Because technically if we make a lower low and we make a lower high, right, so this was the first, this was the first lower low and lower high, technically the next move is to break this low, break the support system, have room to bleed, so that's your first indicator to have shorts on the front of your mind, not longs, because you have room to bleed to major support. What is major support? Around the 50. Right, you can see here it ranges from the 52 down to, let's just say, the 47. It's this range right here. Can we remain bullish if we do have a ton of room to bleed, fall to the 48 to 55,000? Yeah, as long as we stay above the 50. Right, and as long as we use the 21 and 31 day moving average as support. And the reason why I say that with confidence, if you heard me say this literally 1,000 times in the past, because this is a language that it doesn't matter what religion, race, color of skin, pronouns. You could look at a chart and just say, yeah, bro, this was support, this was support. Once the monthly and the weekly turned bearish, like the confirmations I told you, we used the moving averages as resistance. Once the monthly and the longer time frame switched bullish, or in section A formed golden crosses, etc., etc., we use the 11, 21, and 31 moving average as support during the entire bull market, right? Start to finish. Once the blah, 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 we use it as resistance. Once we did bullish, blah, 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 support, right? We're here. I sound very boring about this because it's the same thing over and over. And yet people are still confused, right? I mean, how many times can you explain something to somebody and then they respond with a meme from Instagram on someone whose name is like XRP Moon Baby to the 00589? It's like, come on, man. You know, so we're here. We're here. We're at the 11-day moving average. We could fall, like I said in the previous videos and like I said in my Discord, which links in the description. We could fall to this major confluence level of this beautiful purple line, which lines up with major support of 60,009. Now, if you remember what I told you on the monthly, right? Let's delete everything, get rid of the moving average. So it's all about lining up confluence to see which is going to happen. So look at that, how you have major resistance, major support, right around there. And now I just told you that the weekly, which lines up with the 21, is exactly that level. And if we were to fall through that level, we'd go right to this wick right here, which was major support in the past, excuse me, which lines up with the 31, which is around 57,000. Now, you must play devil's advocate, right? We are, what, 1-2 months post-halving now? You don't usually see a bear market 1-2 months post-halving, right? You usually see the all-time high about a year from the halving, so I do think we could have a consolidation. Like I said before, worst case scenario, you would put on a VPVR, go from the 70,007, come down to the 15,003, click on your Bitcoin and hide it, and then see where your major peaks are. You could see here this 46 to potentially 48,000 being the major line. Now, why does it say that? That's the major liquidation zone, okay? You go back to this weekly or even a longer time frame. You always want to see less candles to prove where support and resistance levels are. Now, let's dig even deeper. This, in my eyes, like I said, join the Discord. I posted it. I've been posting this for literally weeks now because it looks like it is. It looks like a double top, okay? All you have to do is look previously. And you see how we had this like Bart Simpson head came down. This is called an Adam and Eve pattern, where you have one more rounding and then a sharp, or one more rounding and then a sharp, or a sharp and then a rounding. This is the rounding, this is the sharp. This just happened on a bigger scale. We come over here and literally, you could zoom in, right, to even the daily, 2-day, 3-day, wherever, there it is, right, and you had your rounding top and then the sharp. So, yes, the line in the sand that we are probably going to go to is around the 60,007. It will be major support. I just don't know if we break it, right? This video is going to be a little bit long. Grab some notes. It's been 12 days. I do want to go into Bitcoin's dominance, where I think we are in the market cycle, what could play out over the next couple of months, right? So let's bounce some ideas, right? Alts really haven't, they've done some, right? But some alts haven't really done anything, right? Ethereum hasn't broken all-time high. Some other coins haven't pumped. XRP usually pumps last, pumps the hardest, and then, you know, the market is pretty much the cycle. The market cycle is over, right? So we double top, right? If you remember, we were talking about this being a rounding bottom. Rounding bottom has officially broken. We could possibly go flat, or we could potentially do something like this and still remain bullish, bro. Like we still remain bullish because technically the last low, yes, is the 60,005. This is more range. The last swing low was technically 50,000. Below that was 38. So we could come all the way back down to 54,000, still form a higher low, and this would be just the handle to the cup and handle. And what usually happens after the handle is a nice blow off top, which could be, you know, closer to the end of the year. And the reason why I'm saying that, you know, a lot of the coins that I'm checking, I'm not going to go now and go, of course, but let's just say XRP versus Bitcoin, it hasn't popped off yet, right? All these coins are still somewhat bleeding versus Bitcoin, where I think Bitcoin's dominance is going to somewhat have a short-term to mid-term top. Bitcoin comes down, a lot of the coins possibly gain momentum versus Bitcoin, so they won't bleed as much. They'll most likely stay flat. And then as Bitcoin does its second round from, let's just say, 50,000 to 85,000 or 90,000, right? And it does its 2x. That next cycle that comes around towards the end of the year, right? The August, September, December into January, post-election. Now you're having your altcoins gain momentum versus Bitcoin. Bitcoin's dominance coming down while Bitcoin's going up. When you have those three confluence lined up perfectly, you have an alt season, right? When Bitcoin goes up, Bitcoin's dominance goes up, and your coin versus Bitcoin's going down, it has a hard time going against the mothership. Bitcoin's the mothership, right? There's 55% of the market cap just in Bitcoin. And not to get off track, but this is what I'm talking about, right? Last time we went up, we stayed in this range. Bitcoin's dominance went from 62% all the way down to 53%. So I think we potentially could do that since we went on this beautiful run here. If you start seeing this while Bitcoin's doing this, your alts do this, right? So let's stay on track. Bitcoin, here we are. First things first, here's the range. Right, you could clearly see the range, you could clearly see support. Next support is going to be right here, the 66.4. Once we break that, I believe we head to here. The reason why I say that is major support, major resistance, 64.7. Then you have here, 62.9, and then 60,000. So what I could potentially see is dead cat bounces, bear flags, stuff like that, right? You're going to have your bleeding, but eventually find support around here, that 59,000. Then we have to see if the longer time frames are heading into section B. Are we going to break the neckline? Because technically, if this is a double top, right, this is your neckline, and then this is your arm, and eventually you would go back to this liquidation zone of 52,000 to 50,000. But that's way too long. As of right now, this is a daily chart. Every bar represents a day of trading. You can see here we are officially oversold at the major first level. What I would be doing to figuring out the time, right? Another thing, sorry, there's just so much information I'm trying to tell you. Another confluence that gave you the idea that this is a double top, this is not a good structure to be forming, is this high here, 72.5, 72.5. We came down, came back up, 72.5, 72.5. MACD went from 7100, came down, made a lower high to the 1700. RSI went from the 85 down to the 50. We did have a continuation. We were still in section A. There was a ton of room to go from 57 to 70, but we did not break the all-time high, and we made again a lower high on the RSI. That is not necessarily the most bullish thing to be playing out. You want to be seeing higher highs, higher lows, etc., et cetera, et cetera. So this gives me insight that we could come down. Your last low is here, 61 to potentially 58, as the MACD inches closer to the zero line. The zero line is when the histogram goes positive or negative. If you just look right, you can see I'm negative, I'm positive. If I bring it right to the zero, I'm not going to waste your time, but it literally shows zero, right? The zero line represents the last low after the swing, right? So it changed here. Here was a MACD. The last low is here. We did not come down to it. Here, did not come down to it. So we're here. Another thing I'm going to be watching on the daily and the 2-day. Yeah, we're in section B, so we have room to bleed, unfortunately. Yeah, you see how you have this, you go flat. That's what I think we do. We stay flat. We do not break the 68.5 to 69.1 and potentially have another leg down. The when is the next death cross. So you can see here, this one just happened, and you can see here we had major blood. If we go to the 3-day, 4-day, here we go. Yeah, we're coming down, bro. We got a ton of room to bleed. 10-day, oof. Here's the 2-week, the 12-day. Yeah, I'll be watching the 12-day. Okay, same pattern, just somewhat played out, right? Lower high, rejected by the moving average, rejected by the 70. Ton of room to bleed. Set an alert. Alert on MACD crossing MACD signal. What you just did is you're going to now get a text, an email, etc., etc. However you have TradingView set up, you're going to get an alert notifying you that the shorter time moving average is now breaking the longer time moving average. The most important thing is trend lines. I'll say it again. Trend lines go with trend indicator, not on the short term, the long term. You can see here once again the trend has been going positive since this golden cross. We went negative for 12, 24, 36 days, right, a whole month, and then we golden cross. You can see here we went flat. We did not break 31, we did not break 25. We were flat, we were flat. Once we golden cross, broke the moving average and started positive, the swing was from 27,000 to 70,000. Now, the trend indicator looks like it's about to go bearish. Your trend lines do not do this. You understand? Now that it's forming a top, your trend is going flat. Once trend indicator starts going down, and this has room to bleed, trend no longer is flat. Trend is coming down. You have to talk like a caveman sometimes, but that's the facts, brother, right? Trend lines coming down now. Yes, we could fall to here, confluence it up with the 52.8. Calling it now. It's not going to be today, not going to be tomorrow, but this is major support right here. That's where we fall to first. 61.7, 62.7. Keep some cash on the side. I always choose 3 levels, right? So here's your first level, here's your second level, here's your third level. Not financial advice, but if you have $1,000, maybe you put in 333 here, 333 here, 333 here. You look like a genius with the hits. Let's go into shorter time frames. No, I'm not doing shorter time frames. That's that. I'll end the video because we're hitting 22 minutes. End the video with XRP. Here's XRP. Unfortunately, trend lines go with trend indicator, right? Like I just told you. Let's delete everything. Let's go to the long-term trend, right? What chart, what time frame do we start with? The monthly. Why do we start with longer time frames? Because when stuff happens, like a death cross or a golden cross, it doesn't lie to you, meaning we went up until we death crossed. When you go to the 5-minute and you see a golden cross and a death cross and higher highs, higher lows, RSIs, and the price went down. The price went from 49 cents to here, but you're seeing death crosses and golden crosses the whole nine, right? So you figure out the swing first, right? The swing first on the longer time frame. Then you bet longs when you're bullish or shorts when you're bearish on the shorter time frame. So as right now on the weekly, this looks like absolute trash. We're in section B on the MACD. We got rejected by the moving average in the 46, and the trend is, can you notice it? There's support. Let's just say here's resistance, right? So we do have room to bleed until we are at major support again. Let's just say this level right there. So we could still go from the 40 down to the 37, bounce off this white line again. Yeah, have a little bit of a recovery. Unfortunately, still in section B, so nothing positive is ever coming from that. The most important thing is this pattern that is playing out. Let's get rid of this. It's just making it sloppy. All right, the most important thing is this pattern. This pattern is coming down. You can see fake outs, lower highs, lower lows, same lows. Now, most important thing you need to know, right? Trend lines go with trend indicator. Trend indicator was going up. Look at the MACD. Trend indicator, golden crossed here. Trend lines go with trend indicator. Channel, it's going up. We were forming a top right here, right? You could see like we double topped, right? Double topped. It looked like we were coming down. This right here is what I'm talking about. During that time of the market structure, your trend lines aren't going up or down. You're now flat or sideways. As you can see, it's bearish, right? Death cross. Section B coming. Bearish. No more higher highs, higher lows, right? Higher lows, higher highs. This was the first lower high, lower high, lower high. Nothing bullish is coming from these things that I'm telling you. So nothing bullish should be coming from the price trend lines that you're drawing. You could see here negative price action from 70 something, well, 92 cents, but technically 71. And you came down 66, and you came down 64. Then we came down 54. This technically is called a descending triangle because your highs are getting lower, but we've been using 47 to 43 as major support. Technically, this could break to the downside. If anyone remembers from the Discord, do me a favor, put a like and a comment, but I did say this chart could play out. It looks like absolute garbage, and it would bring XRP back down to the 35 cents. You would take the meat and potatoes. Most traders are going to tell you to take from the top all the way to the bottom. I'm telling you to be conservative so that your stuff hits. And what do I mean by that? If you're putting in a short from 45 cents to 34 cents, I would rather put a short from 44 cents to 37 cents and make sure the play hits, right? And have 2-3 levels on the way down the same way I just told you for Bitcoin, right? So 41, 36, 33. Those are my 3 take profit levels when you put in your short. The confirmation for the short is when you see the body of the candle break below these wicks, which are technically around the 44 to the 42 cents, and you would see something like this. We would break down, not a wick, the body. We would break down, red candle, green, come back up. Use the 46 as resistance. That's your confirmation to open up the short, and then you have the 1, 2, 3 levels down. To confluence that up, you have the measured move here. The breakdown would bring you to right there. Now, the only thing, let's play devil's advocate, bounce some ideas. The only thing that would help this not happen is this chart right here. Okay, let's start long. I could tell you all what we're looking for in this chart are these 3 boxes. When Bitcoin, XRP versus Bitcoin went from extreme oversold situations to overbought. From extreme oversold to overbought. From extreme oversold just to even the white line, which is technically the short-term overbought, right? So right now we're here. What I recommend is not financial advice, but you want to buy at support in order to take profit at resistance. And major support is there. After that is there. So not financial advice, but if we do break this, we could go down 30 to 40%. Does that confluence with the level that I just told you? Let's line it up. About 27% to 35 cents. If we fall to the lows here, that's 37%, so it does add up. Not financial advice, but I might take some shekels and accumulate more XRP at those levels because, right, we buy at support to take profit at resistance. If you buy at that price, or if you buy now, and we do go back just to this level, you're going to have nice gains, okay? We don't chase green candles. When do I think that play plays out? I can't tell you. Like I said, maybe the end of the year leading into next year, right? We fall down, you find support here, and then we pop back up to the 72 cents and do something like that, and have 119 to potentially 156%. Now, the thing with XRP, I'm very transparent. This is not financial advice. I have 2 bags, right? If you have a coin that you've been doing research for literally 8 years, I could write a book on all the partnerships and the CBDCs and the partners with the IMF, WEF, the Bill Clinton, the whole 9, right? A lot needs to play out in order for real life events to affect prices, because it's not proven that that's the way, right? If that was the case, Solana shouldn't have pumped because of all the connections with this one and that one, or this coin shouldn't have pumped because it had outages, or this coin shouldn't have pumped, right? Here's my when, right? When this pattern officially breaks out, and it hasn't technically yet, right? You do have this right here. So you can see here you have levels, right? I was talking to one of my best friends, bouncing ideas, and this is bearish, and I was like, you know, Frank, this looks like a damn bear flag, and the bear flag would take us from here back down to these levels here of the 28 cents and even the 17 cents. But the reason why I'm laughing is that that's absolutely insane, number one, and this was all that XRP did versus this most recent bull market, right? So if we do come back down to the, let's just say the 16 cents, that would be a what? Line it up here, right? So this 30 to 63, that's a lot, right? I think the 42%, like I said, with the Bitcoin to 20 cents, that's more reasonable. I'm going to take this one off. We do something like that. You know, you see a wick down to the 20s, you come back up. The reason being is I do think this might be like a nice little W pattern. Like you come up, we come back down, we double bottom at this 29 cents, and then eventually XRP breaks out of this resistance, goes back to this level here of the $1.23 to the $1.65, but officially out of this downward resistance. That's when XRP versus Bitcoin chart is going to go off to the races, and that's when potentially you could see from, let's just say, the 30 cents to this level here, then you have your 200 to 300%. And that's how you confluence it up. 347, we go from the 31 cents to the dollar to the $1.50, you have your 300% return. I'm editing the video on that. I would love for someone to take some screenshots and challenge me in 6 months to see if this stuff is playing out. Thanks. Enjoy the day. Love you guys. Any comments, questions, concerns, leave it in the comments section. But as of right now, in short, I am preparing some cajish, and hopefully going to be buying some more XRP around like 3 cents. I'm joking. Love you guys. Enjoy the day. Any comments, questions, concerns, please leave it in the comments section. If you appreciate these videos, do me a favor, help me grow this channel. And the only way that I could do that is if you comment, like, and share the video to maybe just one person that you might know. If you're part of a group, a trading group, a Discord, share the video in there and be like, yo, this guy was right again from 12 days ago. I appreciate it. Besides that, love you. Any requests, do me a favor, shoot me a message in Discord. I just don't have time to be making videos all the time. I'll do just some quick pictures and some quick bullet points, and I'll let you know where major support levels are, you know, my 2-3 levels, and we'll go from there. Love you. Enjoy the day.